for today, but yeah, it's fine. I'll go ahead and get this posted later as well. Okay, so y'all should. Oh no, I'm not sharing my screen yet. Y'all should be able to see now, hopefully. All right, so yeah, I mean, we could take a look at what's going on today, but also, I mean, yeah, main purpose of these is for anyone carrying any questions, just come through, ask whatever you may need, and then these can be trades you took today in the past, or trade ideas you have looking forward for the week. Um, but if not, yeah, I guess I'll do a bit. You can see what happened today. So let's see. So we had another strong push. I guess focusing on like what's going on right now, uh, since no one's asking anything yet. It looks like we had this 45 hold. So we had this, like what we had, right, is this floor 45-ish as a strong level earlier. And then, well, actually, this is down here. So we had a bit of an early bounce off this node, right, on SPX. Um, we have this space here at 50 and 55. So like there's not much volume blocking it from pushing towards 460, which would be high of day. So again, that doesn't mean it's going to go to 460, but that means it's a good play to be taking that bounce because there's not a ceiling right overhead, right? So it's not that we assume it's going to push towards one way, but it means that if there's less resistance right above, that means we can catch a nice pop, right? And so if you're getting, $4 here on SPX in a couple candles, like this is already, you can already take a nice trim there and then just leave some runners and see if it pushes back to high of day. What we have above is so SPY is forming a ceiling here. QQQ ceiling is much higher. So it's also so that would have been this rejection up here. It was probably on 744. And then that's probably what's been going on at this point. So yeah, at this point, yeah, you could look for like a second tap of 445. Sorry, 445. Otherwise, this move just got going, so it's more of a chase at this point. And the only thing to look at now would be considering some kind of double top at high of day. So let me switch to oh shoot. Here maybe? Wait 1 second. I'm trying to pull it up on Atlas because I know a lot of people are using Atlas now. So 53 minute. Yeah, let's do this. So let's do split view and we can just do futures, honestly. We chart futures, they have overlay levels for SPY, SPX, and NQ, so you kind of get all the info that way. Let me see. All right. So gotta put on how is it derived? All right, there we go. All right, so the rule with what is it? ES has SPX and SPY. That's why you're seeing like a ton of stuff everywhere, whereas NQ obviously only has QQQ that it's tailing. So I think there was an Orbs V2 version actually, which I did want to try. Actually, I'll mess around with that later. All right, but in any case, so yeah, strong floor down here would have been SPX. And then it looks like SPY, we're probably looking at these. No, actually, I might be, sorry, inversing that. So SPX would have been this floor here, this strong green one. And then SPY showing in like the bluish orangish, right? So again, just seeing, let me close this other tab. Actually, I don't know if I like this. I don't remember, I don't know well which level, I guess which symbol is which. So give me a second here. I'd rather just do SPX. All right, there we go. So now this 45, 60 level that I was mentioning earlier, showing a bit more clearly. Then we have, let's just add SPY on this as well. So we have SPY. QQQ. All right. So yeah, at this point, see if we wait, get a double bottom. Looks like we had a bit of a pullback, didn't quite push all the way down, so kind of just a waiting game at this point. Let me see. Also, I'll flick through a few individual tickers, see if we can spot anything going into end of week. And I think my flow settings are wrong, so just ignore what I have here. Yeah, let me see here. So if I do multi up the money, probably this filter I have too strong. Yeah, I'll need to speak with Turth and see if I can get some better settings, but okay, here we go. Now we're getting a bit more volume on SPX. All right. Yeah, I'll just scan through a few tickers. It's been a while since I've charted a lot of this stuff, honestly. Since I don't see any questions from anyone. So this is Amazon into Friday. Yeah, it's like $7, $8 pop at this point on indexes, so it's going well. Amazon. All right, so Amazon has this 270 level. Amazon does have a Wednesday expiration, so it'll probably just end around here for today. But I'd keep an eye on. It has a lot of volume up at 275, 280 into Friday. So that'd be a good thing to see if okay, maybe break and retest tomorrow. And see if we get some continuation of this move. But yeah, we do need to break. This level has bounced us a couple times in the past, so we do need to break past that first to be able to see anything. A net of 140. Uh, no, this one I don't like as much. It looks like a net overshot that negative node, and then bounced downwards actually. ARM. Looks like post earnings, it has a lot of leftover nodes higher. Yeah, I would say with the drop off after earnings, ARM, you probably some of those upper nodes will just keep rolling lower. ASTS. So ASTS off of 70 yesterday looked very, very clean. I don't know if the map looked like this, but this would have been a very clean setup where we're seeing, our full range here, 80 to 90. Obviously, this was pre-earnings, so like got killed off earnings and then the floor caught it. Um, yeah, it looks like 75 may try to build here as like a intermediate floor. So this could be a potential play. The issue there is this 90 node is not bogus, but it's going to roll down lower, right? Like I doubt ASTS is just going to bounce $15 into end of week. Probably a lot of this volume is going to roll down to like 84, maybe even $80. So you can still be bullish off 75. It's just I would not be chasing that 90 node because that was likely their previous earnings, and then obviously we pushed far away from it. So American Express has a nice level at 300. Let me see if this makes any sense on the chart. Uh, Not really. Yeah, I mean, we had this big consolidation area here. So as we start tapping that, start taking a look at it. But yeah, 300. If you want to be safer, wait for 300 a bit lower. It is a strong level if you go out to a higher time frame. So the weekly, this one rejected a few times in the past. Yeah, so I'd probably be looking at that American Express. The reason I like this level, right, is that it's strong this week, but also next week. right? Like this is a defended level over several weeks. So if we come down, hit 300, even like 305 if you want starters, but probably 300 is what I'd be waiting for. But yeah, I'd be interested to see if these levels stick around, then we can probably get a see if we can hold there. Let me go back to the 1 hour. Boeing off 235 played out today, so that would have been like our low range. So we go hit 250 is something to look at. I think a lot of China tickers were also running. Yeah, a lot of China tickers for sure. SPX pin, decent pin at 7450. Let me pull it up. Um, why do you say 7450? I mean, yeah, I could regress pin down here. At least right now, 7460 is still pulling price. QQQ SPY, King knows are also a bit above. So, I mean, if you're saying because we're going to reject all these ceilings, drop back down and then pin lower, sure. But at least at the moment, I wouldn't say 7450 pin. Or that could be a typo if you meant 7460. Uh, yeah, so the main, so actually this play here, like this bounce up annoyingly happened right before I got on stream, but um was probably the cleanest play here in like the past 30 minutes to an hour. And then now for this double top, the only risk is if we keep getting like a lot of negative growth above, I'd be a little hesitant to short that. But in theory, you'd be waiting for a double top here, see if we can get a sweep and then play that short down. What's the video work? 1 second here. I'm checking something on my settings. So yeah, I mean, yeah, we're pushing up to 7460. Oh man, I mean, I would have wanted Hive data sweep. It looks like we may reject early, but uh, again, especially with negative nodes on Spine QQQ, like I much prefer to wait for them to tap or to even overshoot a bit. Especially with like the chart thesis, right? You want to see this level get taken out before you get a double top. But yeah, it looks like we may get a bit of a pullback here. Uh, okay. Oh, Arlissa, about 20 minutes. About 20 minutes ago, there's a bunch of negative nodes in this area that always gets me confused, but I think I'm clear that it just means more volatility and whatever. Yeah, Arlissa, so like think of the negative nodes as like an accelerant, right? And it's sure we don't know is it going to accelerate through or accelerate the reversal, but it's an accelerant overall, right? So it's really like the positive versus negative is telling you like how we can expect it to move. But which way, like if we're expecting it to break through a level, reject there, that's more up to the chart thesis, right? Hopefully, It makes sense, Sarlissa. I think I saw a few messages from you earlier. Maybe Jewel was messaging back, so hopefully that's a bit more clear. Yeah, so it's I think when we say accelerant, it can be very easily misinterpreted, right? Because acceleration, you're assuming it's going to continue. But negative levels can also be very strong floors, and at times ceilings as well. A lot of times we're going to get an overshoot and then that nice bounce. So it's not always an acceleration in like a continuation acceleration, right? So it's just when you do get that move, whichever way it may be, it's going to clear through very quickly. So hopefully that helps Arlissa Dylan. Um, yeah, I just don't know. I don't know if there's like a better word than accelerant. Like I've been thinking for months, I've been trying to say like, okay, what should we use instead? But it's really the best thing I can that I've come up with. So, but it can be a bit misleading. But I think once you start to notice, okay, it's plenty of times we use it as a floor ceiling. It's then you'll start to see it's more about the behavior of price in that zone or at that level. And it's not always meaning, oh, we must reverse or we must break through, right? Okay. Trishul. Hey, Trishul. Yeah, I was bit offline lately, still catching up with everything. Um, KG, yeah, I can look at meta. Hmm. Why is meta? Oh, meta's not on my list. Do you mean meta for today? Like meta for today it looks like it may push a little bit higher, but I guess yeah, if you're doing zero DT lotto, you can target the 620. Actually, it looks like we did tap it earlier. I mean, Meta's just moving in line with the whole market, right? So it looks like we had the high of day. You can play another push towards that high of day if we try to squeeze up. But it has been tapped already, right? So it's and into Friday. Meta looks really weird into Friday. This Vex is very like not very skewed one way or the other. It's very even split. So I just wait till tomorrow to see what levels show up for Friday expiration on Meta and probably play those for any kind of Gex on the Gex. Right now the Vex looks super messy. So you just have kind of volume both ways. Hopefully that helps KG swing back down to 600. Oh, let me see. To 600 for tomorrow? Yeah, let me see. That is a larger node. Let me check how the indexes are looking on the VEX. SPX has a lot of upside. All right, so SPY is pretty split. SPX has a lot of upside. QQQ is pointing downwards. Until the index picture clears up a bit more, I don't know if I'd want to swing Meta like a Mag 7 straight down. I guess it would be basically reverting today's move. But yeah, at least right now, like SPX looks really bullish on the VEX, so I don't know if I'd want to take that KG. But just keep an eye on the VEXs. If throughout tomorrow they flip a bit more bearish, right? So like maybe SPX or SPY starts to become more in line with QQQ, which was pretty bearish, then it can that can be a good idea at that point. But yeah, it's swing puts are tricky lately, as Trishul just said. Um, what else do we have? Mary, or no, sorry, Marty. Pivot. Marty, so there's two ways they could be talking about pivots. One would just be like a pivot level. Um, pivot level just being okay if we've, I don't know, like pivot level would just be support resistance flip, basically, right? Previous ceiling became a floor, support resistance flip. If they're talking about architect's pivot, that is a VIX pivot. So those are levels that he sends out. He finds them based on some like personal algorithm or script that he's running on his side. So like I can't tell you how he's getting those values, but basically he's looking at those values and how he's using them is saying, okay, if the VIX is at a pivot level, he uses a 10-minute rule, which I don't know the rule myself. I'll send you a link if you can DM me about this. I'll send you a link for it. And then he's basically looking to see, okay, is this level going to hold? Is it going to break through? And it's something like he's waiting 10 minutes to make sure it doesn't tap back into it, whether it rejects or breaks through. And he's using that to then guide his bias for the overall market, right? Because obviously VIX is typically going to be inverse to what you're expecting a movement to be on the indexes. So I have gotten this request a few times, so I am going to look into this a bit closer and make a video on it. Like I think I've gotten the question enough times to justify doing that. Um, so I'll work on making a video on it, maybe by next week. But it's something I need to learn first before I can make the video on it. It's just I don't track the VIX while I trade, so it's something I need to clear up myself first. Hopefully that helps Marty. But yeah, DM me, or if you go look in the education section, I think if you go to Heat Seeker FAQ, it's like the third post in there. It's by Hazy. There's like an architect VIX pivot something. So go read through that. Keep spamming call. Yeah, Trisha. I mean, it has turned into just track whatever ceiling we have. You can try to scalp it, but at this point, it's like we just break through, then just get a retest of that previous ceiling, flip it to a floor, and then just take a call continuation play. It's been, yeah, more similar to trading like 3, 4 years ago. Dylan, you see Jewel talking about a triple king node and playing an upside squeeze. Is that right now, Dylan, or what? I don't know. I mean, triple king node, he was probably talking about 717, 744, and 7460, but that has obviously just rearranged in the time we've been on the call. He posted. Who would have thought? Oh, anyone playing this? Oh, I mean, this depends on how you trade. I mean, I wouldn't like. Well, let me see what time he sent this at. Is there no timestamp on this video? Oh, 318. Yeah, by 318, we had already moved up $10 on SPX, right? Like the floor here was that 45 was the play for this reversal. So like, sure, you could try to play a squeeze through and push higher, but like, this is not a reversal; it's a continuation play. So it's not my style. At least I would be waiting for a retest. So something to see if we get a pullback and then play a further bounce upwards. But uh, yeah, at this point, like 7460 is looking like it looks like we have three ceilings across the board, right? So you can play a push towards these king nodes if you want, but it's there's only so much upside we have, right? So I don't know. I don't like that play that much, to be honest. How did you get that QQQ and SPX on the top with the plus? With the plus? KG, you're talking about on Trinity? Right, like you're saying oh, KG, what tier are you in the server? Let me look this up. I'm pretty sure you're pro. Yeah, you are. Um, I mean, this is just default Trinity, and you can just add whatever tickers you want over here on the add panel plus button on the top right. I don't know if KG, let me know if you're not able to. I might just be confused on what you're asking. Oh, you're saying here, like these pinned ones up here, KG? Oh, I think I just favorited them. Yeah, so if you star any of these, then they show up on a list at the top. So if you favorite too many, I just have the indexes favorited because I'm always going back to them, but in theory, you should probably favorite, your top 10 tickers or something? Dylan, yeah. So Dylan, that's also the reason. Like, I mean, this play may work. Like, we are getting a bounce here, right? But so we're kind of getting like this support resistance flip here. But since to me the floor was a bit lower, then I would probably have just waited for that, see if we double bottom. But and also like I don't know, we've pushed $80 on SPX. So I'd be if you are doing any kind of scalp long, like just be trimming into high of day. Like you can leave runners past it in case we do start squeezing, but I would not be treating this as like to me this is not a setup. But we are definitely gonna push. But yeah, like for me when I'm establishing like what trade I'm taking, it's always like first step for me is what level am I playing off of, right? What floor, what's ceiling am I playing the reversal off of? And so like when I don't see a very clear floor, like the nodes don't have a very clear floor. The chart did actually. So the chart had that previous high of day from like 1 p.m. as the flip to the floor. Um, so that's always my first thought. So like I see what Jules saying, right? Like he's seeing there's big increase in these negative nodes on SPY QQQ. 7460 still there, so you can still play a push upwards. But I wouldn't. I guess I'm not looking at it as like a prime trade. Now, what he's probably betting on. So, firstly, he's probably playing this for profits. But secondly, what he's probably betting on is this 7465, like these two negative nodes over on SPX, combined with the negative nodes on SPY and QQQ. If we do get a pop and like we just blow through this double top, these negative nodes will squeeze it pretty hard, right? So that's probably what he's betting on is if we do get a very late surge, it's so late in the day that this is going to be like a very explosive move, especially if those negative nodes take full effect, right? So that's the trade he's looking for. Yeah, it's working, but it's like the entry is very, very important, right? Because like if he sent that out 318, sent that out around here. If you enter at that moment, like you're cooked, or you're basically at break even right now. If you enter that once we get this bounce and you're playing the reversal, you'd be fine. You're up 30, 40% probably. So it's you can have the right thesis, but you still need to be very picky about where you enter it, right? And so you always need to have where's your reversal point in mind, right? Even if your bias is upwards, you still need to pick out where you want to enter. So if you're entering off this previous high from like 1 p.m., 1:15, this play would have worked out great, right? But if you're chasing in a little early, then it could be going very against you right now. But yeah, let's see what happens. I think calf is also. I don't think he sent a probability out though. Yeah, he never sent a probability out. Um, 'Cause I know Cap sometimes will have some rule about like, oh, first hour lows, last hour highs, but I don't think he hasn't sent other percent odds about that. Trying to scan through and see if there's anything else that people have sent out. All right. On calf sheet, if the low of days in first hour is the last of the day, that's highest odds. Trishul, but is there a percentage tied to that? Or like I guess what I'm trying to ask is like what's the difference between the second to last hour percent likelihood of having that high of day versus the last hour, right? I don't even know if he tracks that. I'd have to ask him. All right, so what you'll see is this 74.45 and 74.60 have just been flipping which one is the king node, basically since I started this call. So again, like this is just sort of restricted the range, and we're just sort of bouncing back and forth between those. So again, we haven't even cleared the high of day for a double top. We've just sort of gotten stuck in this range here. So there's still a chance we can push a little higher. Um, yeah, we just have to wait and see. Yeah, maybe we squeeze and clear one last high of day for today, but we'll see. So it's 18% versus 45%. Okay, thanks, Trishul. 18 versus 45. Uh, yeah, I don't know. I haven't spent too much time with like Glycaf stuff, like his stats, but generally I always treat them like at least I usually typically want to see at least 70, 80% for me to take trade based on any of those. So I know he had another one where it was like futures overnight, basically every hour, what's the likelihood we get a move back towards a level or not? And for those, I'd generally be looking at like 70, 80% likelihood. So we'll see. I mean, it's potential we can squeeze here into the past 20 minutes, last 20 minutes. Now that we're double bottoming here. We're coming retesting this level on the chart. We're tapping into this like 7445. Actually, 7450 has grown quite a bit. So this floor has also gotten stronger. So there's a chance we can get a bounce here and then push higher, like a last 20-minute squeeze. Can maybe be the gamble there. Let's see if that works. Oh my goodness. So we have what, 7455? Well, yeah, there goes there goes that bounce off the same level. Okay, sorry, let me go. Where are we at? I don't know what your name is. 57253. Is there like a phone number or something? Is there an expanded version of the heat maps that a swing trader? Yeah. So on the pro tier, right? So like, mm, I don't know. If you're trading CoreWeave, the default is obviously 5 columns, but you can expand it out even by strikes. So you'll see all the strikes, and then this will give you, I don't actually know the limit on this. 2028. So this is probably just giving you every strike that exists. Now that I look at this. Obviously, not all tickers even have volume that far out, so like that's something you have to consider as well. So yeah, maybe CoreWeave is just not as doesn't have enough volume that far out, but yes, to your answer, But the thing you always have to remember is that heat maps will shuffle over time, right? So it's even if you are playing a further out play, you're still going to want to be checking it periodically, right? Just to see how those further out nodes have played out or not. Okay, yeah. So right now, this double bottom just mentioned. So again, like the same level played out, what, like 20 minutes ago or 10 minutes ago, 15 minutes ago, is now playing out, giving a strong bounce here. Yeah, yeah, no problem. 572. Can we assume 450 break and hold on Tesla? Let's check. 450 break and hold on Tesla. I mean, it looks like we've tested it a couple times, so it's more likely that it will break through KG, especially if market continues strong. Yeah, I mean, I struggle to say we can assume anything, right? But what I'd look for here is if we break above, see if you get a retest of this level. So like you'd be waiting for, see if we can break above, retest this zone, and then play a continuation upwards. But yeah, I just don't ever try to think of something as like guarantee or not, right? That can give you quite a bit of problems. But yeah, definitely that level looks like it's tapped twice. So if we continue strong, it'll probably gap above or push above tomorrow and see if we get a retest. So that trade probably to 470. I didn't look at the target actually. I would not target 470 though. I'd probably be looking at 460. So I think if you like set 300K, this 470 node was likely a lot smaller earlier in the week. Oh, actually, it wasn't. It was growing. Oh, interesting. Um, yeah, maybe you can target 470 by Friday, but I would still get a couple nodes safer, like maybe 465. Just because sometimes we fall like a dollar or two short of these king nodes, and then if that's the case, then a 470 call would still be out the money, right? Keem, you're kind of confused today in the early morning, early afternoon, looking at the double top SPX was making matching with a king node. You want to play deflection off that. So you got in at Central, so 11:44 Eastern. The king nodes were matching together. One thing I missed was VIX not matching the double bottom. Yeah, so 11:44 Eastern. Um, all right. Let me skip back a bit just to see what it looked like as we got there. 11:44. All right. Let me go check the chart. So 11:44 was over here. Uh, okay, so you did catch a bit of a reaction. Let's see here. So yeah, 11:42. Like I was actually gonna say, like the setup actually looks fine. Like you're entering here, right? I just think it was a very limited move, obviously. Like maybe this didn't retrace as much as you would have wanted or expected. But let me see what the clues would have been here. So obviously we have some volume growing above, but then what you'll also want to be looking for is as we drop a bit away, because we dropped from 20, so we dropped like 8 points maybe on SPX. So what happened? Oh, okay. So yeah, the biggest clue would have been actually, oh, I didn't mean to press play. So 11:44 itself, right? It looked like we had just 740, huge negative note up here. Gonna play the rejection off of that. 712, we have a rug pull on SPX. And this play did work. Like if you're scalping, that would have been fine. What happened though is if you look, especially at the 739 node on SPY, so this one got a huge amount of increase, right? So as we push towards like 1150, 52, 53, right? So if I flip back, right? Since the node, this doubled in size, right? Went from 70,000, actually 40,000, pushed all the way to 140,000, right? So this gained over 100,000 in volume. 40,000 relative to this king node at 300,000 is almost nothing. So it was not concerning me much before, but a growth up to more than a third of that king node at 740 now is telling me, okay, like this can potentially be a floor, right? So the fact that they're sliding a floor there is telling us, okay, there's a chance that this rejection down is not going to be as significant as we may have expected. And then another thing is, especially on QQQ, on SPY actually would have been a deeper, but on QQQ, right, this push, firstly, like this move down was a lot stronger. So again, there's just a lot of divergence at all-time high, so it's a good idea to be looking at both. But secondly, it retraced and basically hit like our high of day. Or even if you weren't looking at the early morning, if you're looking at this push higher earlier, then it's still, the same spot that rejected upwards. We're going hitting that area. So there's a chance we double bottom there and get a push higher, right? So hopefully that helps, Keem. I think like your thesis was actually fine, right? Like, and this obviously it's a very small move, but it did play out, right? And probably on QQQ, like QQQ, this is a $2 move downwards, right? So I don't think there's actually anything wrong in the setup you took. It's just if you took it on SPX, possibly the divergence is killing you a little bit. And also, it's one of the issues, not issues, it's one of the tricky parts of playing trend days, right? Is you just have to be you have to be very quick with your profits if you're playing put sides, right? And so another way to get around that is like, or get around that or save yourself from that is whenever you're taking plays, whether it's calls or whether it's puts, is be thinking, always be looking for, okay, what's the next possible thing that's going to throw off this play, right? So again, that floor they slid in, that positive node at 739, that was right under 740, the negative node you played the rejection off of. That would have been your big clue of saying, oh, okay, I don't think we're going to go any further down, right? Or my downside is getting restricted. So if I have any puts, maybe I trim earlier than I thought, right? Hopefully that helps, Keem. Yep. Yeah. So again, it's sometimes those node increases can be hard to spot, right? Because on the maps, as I just showed, right, like they're both yellow, right? At this, like the actual color didn't change too much. So this is also why it's very important to be looking at the actual value itself, right? So if you're looking at the heat map table format, the tabular format, you need to be reading what number you're actually seeing and paying attention to how that's growing, right? Because that was a node that more than tripled, got to a level that it was significant compared to the king node, and then that would have been your big hint, right? And if you know, like we didn't actually go and hit that level, right? We actually bounced a little bit earlier, but again, these nodes have a bit of buffer. So as soon as you start entering the buffer of that node, you see that the floor is getting, the floor is growing at a level that it wasn't there before. That would be your big clue to say, okay, maybe I'm just going to cut out early with limited profits or just cut it break even or whatever it may be. Um, and yeah, and especially in a trending market like we've had where it's very, very bullish, it's just continuously we're getting days where we just get strong pushes upwards. Just recognize that your put scalps are usually going to be very limited, right? And it is annoying, but it's just one of the adaptations you have to make. Otherwise, you're going to get burned trying to short it all the time because it's just going to keep pushing through your levels. Okay. Um, A, how have you gotten the move today on Tesla? Uh, Not sure. Let's see. At 9:48. Also, sorry for my voice. I was sick last night, so all right, so Tesla, what do we have here? Well, let's see how it opened. Okay, so we opened. All right, so we have like this morning nonsense where it just looks like we pushed above, then pushed under 435. We didn't actually get a floor to step in at 430. Like we have this 432 as our floor. So probably that would have been the big thing is like, okay, let me double check this chart before I say anything else. Yeah, so play here would have just been like 432 is basically our floor, like there's very little volume below. We have a level from here in the past at 431. Again, like positive nodes can overshoot, but even if you're entering off 432, you say, okay, here's our floor. We get more bit more drawdown than maybe you expected based on the heat map, but based on the chart, we're still holding this level. So you say, okay, that would have been the floor there. So that probably would have been it. I wouldn't have expected such a large push on Tesla like this, but that's also comes from just the overall index strength. So wait, was that a glitch? Oh, okay. So Tesla, where was Tesla 1015? Tesla at 1015, like this is a huge hint, right? When we just go from 1010 to 1015, like this shift up, it's a huge hint that we're just going to get a few, we're going to get a continuation. So if you're in the play, maybe you had double top risk, you trim a little bit, but once you get like that huge flip in volume, like we saw right here, then you'd be saying, okay, now I'm expecting like a pretty large push, right? So then we retraced on this candle. That's when these nodes showed back up on the downside. And after that, Tesla just clean sailed towards 450. So that would have been that play A. I don't do many Max 7 0 DTE. Uh, I do need to I do need to look at those more often. So for example, like Tesla, a very clean map. Uh, or especially like, or maybe on that retrace at 1015, very nice pop there. Oh, did we just get news? All right, we just got news or something. Sorry, let me check on futures. Did we? Oh no, no, sorry, it's 350. It's just the MOC candle. Apologies. All right, so yeah, this MOC candle's just tearing this thing down. Hmm. Holy, huge drop. Yeah, so I mean MOC, yeah, this is the usual. MOC is just gonna, it doesn't always, but if it rips one way, it's just gonna do it however it wants. So again, in these cases, and this is why I really struggle with these like end of day plays, struggle to advise playing them is, if you start assuming we must hit some target or the other, there's gonna be times that they're just gonna sort of flip it against you pretty badly. Um, so yeah, I mean, at this point, we did have less upside than downside. Like there's less space to the upside, but I still would have, yeah, I would have wanted this double top to then play puts. But yeah, puts are paying massive on this, where we are close to the 7460 ceiling. Do I look at opening range break, previous month high, previous month low, and aftermarket? Hey, no, I don't use opening range break at all. I do look at previous day levels, overnight levels, previous week levels. I don't actually look at previous month levels, but I equally could. I just don't track them. Um, but yeah, a lot of times those are going to be very important levels. Like futures overnight levels matter quite a bit. Previous day low, previous day high, like all of those, I think are quite important to keep track of. Oh, previous market high. Oh, pre-market high. Uh, yeah. Hey, make sure you're looking at futures and you're tracking overnight highs. If you look at pre-market on SPY, it only tracks till 4 a.m. So make sure you're looking at a 24-hour version. Your pre-market high and your overnight high can be very, very different depending on the what's happened overnight. So for example, yesterday or last night would have been a case where they're the same, right? Because the overnight high happened during pre-market. But for example, last night, the pre-market high would have been down here, whereas your overnight high would have been all the way up here, right? So just make sure you're tracking. Make sure you're looking at a 24-hour version. I trade zero DT mainly. Yeah, mostly zero DT. I used to do a lot of swing trades. That was back when I had an office job and just didn't have time to do um, zero DTE. So now I'm more of like a mixed bag. But with us being at all-time highs, and since I didn't have any like long-term swings previous, it's kind of hard to justify loading more long-term plays right now. Unless it's a sector that looks like it's going to push pretty hard. So swing trading, I'm still waiting. Sort of not put it on pause, but I'm like very, very selective on that. And my full-time day trader. I mean, I trade mostly every day, but no, like my job, like the job I have right now is support to the server itself, right? So, no, I've been trading not too long, like a couple of years, but need a bit more time to compound stuff before I'd be able to do it as for a living. All right, all right. So it looks like day over at this point. Uh, 440. Yeah. So again, the this rejection, I would have wanted it to tap higher to play puts and sweep this high of day, but that's how it goes. Sometimes we bounce early, sometimes late. So yeah, yeah, Alyssa, we stayed in that range we had for like the past hour, probably longer actually, from 45 to 60. No all-time high for a few weeks. Yeah, that'd be more fun. A few months even. Could I do an example? Using Gex and Vex to find swings. Let me think about that one. A, I have a few videos I can show you, like I can send you for now, but I don't have one like top of my head that I can pull up right now. If you go in the server to the trade video recaps, just scroll to any video I've posted on individual. What was the last video I posted that? Oh, okay, maybe this one. I'm just gonna send it to you here, in the Zoom. So check out either maybe that trade or maybe this trade. See Trishul? Yeah, nice to see you again. yeah, save both of those links. Check those out later. Those are trade recaps I made in the past. Yeah, I'm still working on making like a how-to video. I need to do that. All right, any other questions? Otherwise, just cut this off here. I'll probably do another one tonight. Actually, let me think about that. I'm probably not going to do one tonight. I usually do, but I'm behind on messages, so I need to prioritize getting everybody responded to. Meta has Vex King Node. So yeah, actually, I'm going to cancel the session tonight. Do that. Meta has 6, 720 on 618. Oh, that's probably just June's OPEX. So again, always 618. Are you sure it's not 690? Be careful with the OPEX expirations. Make sure that the weeks preceding it or the days preceding it also have similar volume pushing in that way. So make sure you're not just seeing one node up on an OPEX and like very far away and just assuming it's going to get there. So again, always if you're seeing that on the VEX, make sure your GEX has a strong floor that you can play and all of that. So it's again, don't get caught chasing just big giant nodes, especially not OPEX ones. Yeah, no problem. All right. I think I'll just end this here. I know it was a bit short today. I've been offline for a few days, but I'll be back. Trying to do a few more recaps, a lot more of these sessions for all of you. Yeah. So yeah, thanks everyone for joining all the questions. Um, and yeah, I'll make sure to announce these a bit more ahead of time. I know today was very last minute. I forgot to send a message out. But all right. Yep. Hope everyone has a good day. Good luck the rest of the week. And as always, feel free to message me with any questions. All right. Thanks. Thanks all.